So this is the installation video for the Skillard center console for the 280ZX or S130 chassis. I got a couple pieces here that are already prepped. So this here is the main console piece that already has the shift bezel, which is this, and the hardware installed. This is just a universal shift boot. The boot's not included. The reason for that is so that way you can just pick what color, fabric, feel you want. I'll have a separate video up that shows you how I installed the shift boot underneath the shift bezel, but got that ready. There's also a gated version of this console, and you wouldn't use the shift boot. The other thing here is the cup holder with the cutouts for the mirror switches. And so these I'll set it down here real quick. These rings unscrew, and that's how you take them off of the OEM section. And same thing, you slide them in from the back side of this, secure those, and then you can see there's this little housing that's just there, so when it's in, it's hidden. After you put the switches in, you'll use the same M5 stainless steel machine screws to attach that. So once you get that set up and ready to go like that, and our console ready with the shift bezel and the shift boot that you decide you're going to use, we're ready to go ahead and start putting this in the car. So here we are inside the ZX. You can see it with the factory console out. You got to take the screws out of this guy here, and if you're using a gated shifter, you're going to want to trim this down. But for the one that we're putting in with the shift boot, it's fine to leave it the way it is. And so the reason that we got to take the screws out that go through here is because we're going to reuse those existing holes to help secure down the center console. So one of the things you want to do is make sure that you line these holes back up, and then we'll slip the console into place. Okay, so I've got the console slipped into place. I got the shifter coming up through the boot. This is just one of our Skillard shift knobs. You can use whatever you want, but just put that one on there. The wiring's coming through to plug back in your mirror switches, and basically is up against the hump here in the back. Most cars will have a carpet that comes up in between the seats here. It's just taken out of this car at the moment. So after we get that lined up, we'll be taking some of our number 12 1.5 sheet metal screws, and we're going to put one through here, one through there. You're going to put 2 here and 2 here, but before we put them in, we're going to actually set the cup holder in place, plug in the switches, and line it up. So what that's going to look like is this will line up like so, and then the back holes will line up, and then we'll screw that into place. So I'll plug in the wires and get it started. Okay, so here we have it all installed. Got those screws back there, those going through there in the center, and then these guys up here in the front. So what I found to work best is you get the 2 in the front, because you still have a little tilt in the console in case you need to adjust that rubber boot that's underneath this. So I'll get those started, do the middle, then do the back. Leave them all loose till you get all 6 of them started, and then once they're started, go front, middle, back to tighten, and then just double check, you know, the the tension, so you might have to tighten the middle a little bit more. But just like anything, you don't want to over tighten it, because these are sheet metal screws that are going through the trans tunnel, and they're not a machine screw, so if you really crank down on them, you could actually strip out the sheet metal underneath it. But I have these pretty snug, no issues. And so that's the 280ZX center console, available from Skillard.com.